I just saw a video that absolutely blew my mind because it talked about how toxic people that cannot feel the light of source because they're not doing work, they're addicts, they're looking to outside pleasures to fill a void, they can't connect with source. And so they have a lot of entities attached to them, negative entities from their usual chaotic and reckless lives. And it is oftentimes the reason why they can't connect with source, but they have these toxic entities. Now, how many times have you been around a person like this and they're siphoning your energy? And you may not even recognize that it's happening to you. They probably don't even recognize that they're doing it. But they can't feel that light and that life force energy from source because of all the aforementioned reasons. And they usually glom onto or are magnetically attracted to somebody like you, perhaps, that is doing the work, that is trying to connect with source, that is meditating, that is like consciously trying to maintain that connection in their life. And so negative people will feel that pull that you have. They will see that life force energy. And the only way that they know how to get it in their life is by siphoning it from external circumstances. So having these amazing experiences, going on trips, traveling, buying things, utilizing substances. Usually they're addicts in more than one way because they have no other way to feel that life force energy or to feel that light other than external factors. And you are no different. You may be their friend, their lover, their family member, but you are an external force that they siphon your life force energy from. Story time. I had a friend who was involved in all of these things and was really just struggling to survive in her life, but had a lot of people around her that were toxic, that were abusive, that were using her. And every time I would go out to lunch with her, we would drink wine and we would get a little bit tipsy. And she would, at the end of the lunch date, reach across her hands and grab my hands and look me in the eye and talk to me in a really subtle but hypnotic voice and be really focused on me. And this would happen almost every single time we would go to lunch. And I'm realizing now that that was her way to siphon my energy, to have my undivided attention and be touching my body by my hands and making that physical contact. It was like a funnel between the two of us where she could siphon my energy, because although I was intoxicated too, this was not like a normal thing that I did. I didn't drink half as much as her, and I really usually hated how I felt when I would go home. But this was something that she did daily, and she would siphon my energy. And when I got to the point where I was no longer going to allow her to do that, that I started to recognize the toxicity in her and in our friendship, and I started to lay down requisite boundaries, she got really mad about that and took herself out of my life in a really toxic way. But I think a lot of it was because she realized that she was no longer going to be able to siphon my energy. So I want to just put this out as like a PSA warning to people that oftentimes you don't recognize when people are siphoning your energy. And maybe they don't even recognize that they're doing it, but they are.